Hi, welcome to Taste of Florida Tropics. I'm Sonia Vaquero. I'm with the Tropical Fruit Growers of South Florida, and we're here having another series on tropical fruit discussions. Today we have our lovely guest and friend, Denise Schnebly. Welcome, Denise.
Thank you, Sonia. It's a pleasure to me to be here, especially the opportunity that you guys are giving us to introduce our future winery. We're still in the process of getting some stuff done, but we are excited about this new venture, especially that we're going to promote our tropical fruits.
Welcome. It is Schebly Reland's Winery.
That's correct.
I love that name. And we also have Kathy Ledford. Kathy, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
And you are the retail manager for Schebly Reland's Winery.
That's correct.
Thank you. I'm so excited to have you. Today, the tropical fruit wines that we have, as you see here in our beautiful display here, we're going to be tasting some of these a little bit later, hopefully, right? But I wanted to talk to you a little bit, Denise, about how a little bit about your background. How did you get started in this? How did the winery come, or how was it?
Well, we've been in the produce business for I've been in the produce industry almost 15 years. We've got our own company for almost 11 years. My husband has been in the produce industry since he was a teenager up in upstate New York. And with that, we have had packing house, we have had picking, we have had to dispose of some fruit that is perfect to eat, but it's just overripe or it has a little bit of a blemish, and we can't sell it fresh. With that, we've talked to friends in the wine industry in upstate New York, friends of our family, and they've in the past had told us, why don't you make wine out of these fruits? And
Great
we're
idea.
like, I don't know, does it work? We were a little skeptical and started experimenting about 2 years ago. To our surprise, it was great idea. They do make good wines. We've got a great person that is acting as a consultant. It's a person that is from upstate New York. He had his own winery, and he was in the business for 20 years. He's retired, but he still wants to do something. So he's, helping us learn how to do the process. We've been learning.
Sounds like the right person to be aligned with. He knows a little bit of the industry, can help you out and give you some good pointers and what to do and all that. Excellent.
Plus, he has a good palate. He's an expert, in wine. So really, if he says, I like this, well, you have to take him serious because he knows what he's saying. He's been a judge in competitions for, wines. And so we do trust what he tells us, and so far it's been a great experience. Everybody loves to talk about wines. Everybody's excited about bringing this to South Florida. There's plenty of wineries in the country. There's some in the state, so we want to be a part of that business too.
And this would be the first winery in Florida?
Actually, no. There's about 15 wineries in the state of Florida, but they're all central and north Florida. We will be the first winery in Miami-Dade County and of course in South Florida. So we have got to be jumping some loops and things that that had to be done in order for us to get all our permits. But we're going to be the first ones to do wines out of tropical fruits. There's some that do carambola, but none of them do lychees or all of the fruits that we're going to be experimenting with.
Okay, so you're really utilizing a lot more of the tropical fruits. The carambola winemaker, is that in Florida as well?
Yes.
The other person that is doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they do a pretty decent wine also, but it's not their main wine. They are making wine out of grapes, the muscadine, which is a grape from the area, the Florida, in Georgia, and that's what they make the most. But they do some carambola, and they have a high variety of other wines: tomato, jalapeno tomato, and citrus.
Okay, I think the tropical fruit one sounds better than the jalapeno one. And you're going to have a great niche over here because you're having a lot more of the tropical fruits.
Well, I think we're very excited about that, and also the fact that we're in an area there is such high population that we can have so many potential customers come to us that it's exciting. It's exciting to show the rest of South Florida what Homestead and the Reland area is all about, because a lot of people don't even think that we exist. And if we do, they don't think much of us. So really it's going to be exciting to bring all that to light.
We need to get more people to come down to the Redlands area. It's a little diamond in the rough down here.
Yes.
And
We need to polish it a little bit.
right. And when they do come down here and they see your wonderful facility, I know you mentioned that you were a packing house first. Is this where your winery is going to be?
Yes, we're going to be building a retail showroom in the front of our warehouse. We have 10 acres, and we have the next 10 acres that we're going to be planting fruits and all, do like a showcase, really. We want to have rows of avocados that when people come to visit from up north especially, because we're going to target a lot of the tourism and all the tourists that come from up north, that they see an avocado tree, that they can see what a pineapple looks like.
Yes, a lot of people
that
don't even
they
know.
have no idea. We take it for granted because we've grown up with them, and therefore to us it's like, if I know it, everybody should.
Exactly.
And it's not the case. So we're
They're used to
excited
high
about-
rises, high rises, high
Yes.
rises, and
So
when they
again,
see nice trees,
yeah.
it captivates their
Or they
interest.
see the fruit on the shelf and they think that's the way it was all the time.
Uh-huh.
They don't they have no idea how it looks on the tree.
Yeah, it just grows in our local supermarkets.
There you
the,
go.
The fruit.
Yeah. So
Right.
we're gonna build a retail room. We already built some waterfalls to create some kind of
Very tropical oasis,
oasis,
beautiful.
something to look at after you have the wine, and really just do a step back place that you can just relax and enjoy, and amaze yourself with the things that we can create and we can have in the Redlands and in the area. We want to promote the artist in the area. We want to promote all the other growers, all the other farmers. So we're excited.
It's wonderful. Also, you said you're going to be planting, but I know that you are growers currently at this moment. Correct?
Yes, we are. We have 96 acres of
That's-
lychees and longanids and avocados, and we do control another 200 and of the growers that we can also get their fruit, and we do all for them. We have a company that does pesticide, fertilizing, trimming, picking, and we pack, and then we sell them. So we're kind of like a one-stop shop.
This is
for the
excellent.
growers.
So this is your own grove and fruit, like you said, that is not that A quality or that could not be shipped. It's perfectly good to eat. You still have it. I mean, instead of wasting it, why
You
not
said
utilize it?
Yeah.
And
Before
make-
this idea, all this fruit had to be
Dumped.
dumped, because
It's a shame.
if it's not if it doesn't look perfect, people think that it's no good. Because it has to look perfect, but really for fruit to be good, sometimes it's actually not looking perfect because it's already, if it's the riper it is, the more juice and
More
sugar it
sugars,
has in
actu-
it. Doesn't mean that it's
absolutely.
going to look perfect, but that's the mentality. So therefore, we have to make sure that when we pack the fruit in the box, it is perfect or close to perfect. And now we have a second opportunity to take that fruit and do with it something else and get better return, I think, for the grower when we process it and we add value
Exactly.
to it. And that really is what excites us, because it's very difficult to make money as a grower. And
Yes.
it's becoming more difficult. We have
A lot of
very-
challenges with the imports.
The competition is tough, and it's not only domestic, it's international.
Yes,
And we have
that's killing our agriculture here.
yeah, because our cost is higher, and it'll always be higher. So therefore, if we add value to these items, we could probably get ahead. It's the only way to get ahead, really, with added value.
Yeah, I know it's terrible. Some of these growers, they find themselves having to chop down all their trees because they're not making the
No,
profits.
it's
They're not being able to pay their bills. So it's very important that we focus on Florida tropicals and utilize these fruits either fresh or in tropical
Processed.
fruit wines,
Mhm.
right? Now, Kathy, thank you for being. I know you're the retail manager, and what are you handling for the Schnebly Winery exactly?
Well, at this time, Sonia, we don't have retail set up because we're in the process of beginning stages. We're about 6 or 8 weeks we're looking at before we open a temporary tasting room.
How exciting!
And as Denise said earlier, we have about a 3,000 square foot tasting room that would be built. It's an old Florida plantation style. Absolutely beautiful. I can already see it sitting there.
Yeah.
And as the people come walking into that room, they'll be able to look out the back, which is glass, which will overlook our waterfalls. A lot of times when you go to a vineyard, and I'm not sure how many vineyards you've been to, but they usually have, you go to an area and you see vineyards and lakes and water, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
In South Florida, in the Redlands area, we don't have the vineyards, we don't have the lakes, but we do have an absolutely beautiful waterfall. There's actually 2 of them. And the unique thing about it, I can't wait till everybody comes out to see it, because one of them right now actually has a red coloring to the rock. And for those of you who are familiar with the Redlands, that's where the Redland name came from originally.
Oh,
it's from the red from the iron in the water. So one of the wells actually has more iron in it than the other well does. So you'll see our tropical waterfall that has a little red land to it. So it's kind of unique.
Hence the name.
But right now I'm just putting things together. You'll notice in the front we have our wine bottles. We've just finished up our labeling. And
do you do this labeling at the facility?
Yes.
we don't do the labeling. We actually will label our own bottles of wine, but the labels were actually made
Yeah.
and sent to us. And Peter, which is Denise's husband, him and Denise and a gentleman named Grant, they designed the beautiful labels that you see. They were just finished and brought to us, and we've just started labeling our own bottles just in the last couple of weeks. You'll see in the front also there's a wine glass. We just finished our etching. That will be our tasting room souvenir. So when you come in, there'll be a charge for your tasting, and you'll have your glass to take with you as you leave as a representation of being at Schnebly Redlands Winery. And while you're there, you'll be able to purchase anything from clothing, our logo clothing, to wine glasses and all kinds of accessories. Things are going to be added in gradually. We're starting out, not on a big scale because we're in a temporary tasting room, but when you come out, there'll be enough things to choose from and to see when you come out, hopefully in 6 or 8 weeks. Don't pin me down to that date, please, but we're hoping in about 6 or 8 weeks to be ready to open our doors for our tasting room. So right now I'm just getting things ready. There's a lot to prepare. I didn't know when I started 2 months ago that if we weren't opening in 2 weeks, what am I going to do? But every day I'm busy. There's just enough going on to keep everything moving right along. So, everything from, like I said, from the labels to the wine glasses to the barrels that we had ordered. There's barrels that have come in, and they had to be clean and be set up and ready to go. So it'll be a beautiful setting once everybody comes out, and we're looking forward to having everybody.
It sounds like an awesome place to go and visit.
It is.
Go and taste.
Just go and relax and just let your cares go away, and
Yep.
it will be a destination winery. We will be the southernmost winery.
That's exactly what Peter and Denise envision, right?
Yes.
Being like having
An oasis.
an oasis, a getaway, and a nice location to go and relax. Thank you for sharing those things with us. We're going to take a quick break. Please don't go away. Come back, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about these tropical fruit wines.
AIDS has killed nearly 6 million children worldwide. That's more than every child in every preschool, grade school, and high school in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Washington, Atlanta, and Miami combined. The time to do something is now. The place is apathyisLethal.org.
Hey, kid, what's shaking? Besides me.
Dad, there's something wrong with the fridge.
What?
Ooh, a snack.
Got energy hogs in your house? Now you have the power to do something about them. Log on to energyhog.org. Because nobody likes an energy hog.
Hey, they got Charlie. Who cares?
Now there's a drug available all across America.
Ecstasy changed my life.
Ecstasy is not for everyone. In fact, it's not for anyone. New studies show that ecstasy is toxic to the body. Side effects may include depression, severe anxiety, hypertension, heat stroke, seizures, heart attacks, liver damage, kidney or cardiovascular system failure, worried parents, loss of friends, isolation, emptiness.
Ecstasy changed my whole life.
Ask your doctor and see why ecstasy isn't right for you.
Hi, welcome back to Taste of Florida Tropics. I'm Sonia Vaquero, and today we're having further discussion with Tropical Fruit Wines and Denise Schnebly, the owner of Schebly Redlands Winery, and also Kathy Ledford, which is the retail manager for Reland Schebly Winery. And we were talking a little bit about the all the steps and obstacles that you have been encountering in opening up this winery, and you were saying you're almost 6 weeks to open. Is it 6 weeks?
I would closer say 6 to 8.
6 to 8
we don't want
weeks.
to pinpoint any date
Okay.
because we don't want anybody being upset with us, but we would love to be open in 6 weeks, but it looks like it's going to be closer to 8. But if it's 10, please don't be angry with us.
No, I'm sure they won't. If you're giving them some really great tropical fruit wines, they won't.
It is the best. It is the best.
Yeah, all that is stopping us is some final permitting
Okay.
with the county. As long as we
I
get
know
that
it's
organized.
a lot of
it is-
paperwork and a lot
exactly.
of
As long as
steps that
get
we have
that-
to
yes.
to deal with.
It gets done and we can open the next day. We can sell wine when we get the license the next day.
Really?
Yeah, you have to understand this is the first time there's been a winery in Dade County.
So this is all new
it's
to them
new
as well.
Everybody,
Yes.
right?
You know,
So when it
not
goes to
only to
building and
education.
zoning, you know, there's things that they're not looking at or haven't seen and are questioning and not. They're very concerned and want to make sure it's done right, and we want it to be done right as well.
Yeah.
So
They're probably making some new
Guidelines.
laws or guidelines and things for the next person who's gonna who wants to do something like this.
it was a brand new ordinance that was created just for this winery. So
So yeah, it's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
it is.
But looking forward to that. And I understand there's over 3,700 wineries in the country. However, this is the only one that is with tropical fruit. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, actually, we're the only one that is not going to be used grapes to make the wine. All our wines are made out of our own fruit. What we do is that we collect the fruit. When it's collected, we pack the good fruit, the one that is not too ripe, that it can hold the shelf life for the retail, pack it in their box. In the rest, the stuff that is ripe, the stuff that has a little bit of a blemish, the stuff that we cannot sell, we press it. We already have 2 presses. Each one is about 3 tons, and they're called bladder press. And they use a bladder to inflate, and then when the bladder inflates, it crushes and squeezes all the fruit, and we get the juice. That juice is then put in a tank. We check the sugar, we check the pH, we check the chemicals in the fruit to see that everything is balanced, and we start fermentation. Fermentation usually takes about 3 to 4 weeks, and then after that we start tasting the wine, see how much alcohol it got, and start playing with it and start.
And the alcohol level is just like another regular wine?
Yes,
It would be the same
yeah.
level?
Our wines are going to be between 10.5% and 11.5% alcohol, a
Okay.
table wine. People usually when they hear it's a fruit wine, they think it's a sweet, very sweet wine, and
Not
they're
necessarily.
not. We are making it. We don't want to compete with any grape wine, but I do want people to use our wines like they use any grape wine, like a Pinot Grigio, like a Chardonnay. We don't have any red wines because we don't have any fruit that we could do a real red wine. But we are getting our color in our passion fruit and our guava wine to make it look a little different color, just to offset, that they don't all look the same in color.
And that's all with natural ingredients that
Yes,
you use?
yeah.
Okay, excellent. And all this is done at your
We
facility?
we have all the
You have
equipment.
the presses and the fermentations?
So far we have capability to make 12,000 gallons of wine We've got tanks, all sizes. We've got, as I said, the press. We have the tanks. We have the filter. We really are good and invested in a good filter because, especially when we start experimenting with the mango, it is a tough fruit.
Well, I can imagine because it's, you know, you have that huge seed in the middle.
And it's all fiber.
And it's a lot of fiber.
A lot of fiber. So it's really very thick. It's like baby food. We had that problem also with the guava. We had guava all over the place, dog
story.
and everything, because when we start pressing the guava, since it was the first time we tried it, we just thought we could do it like the star fruit or the lychee, and it really is very difficult. So we've been encountering those little problems, and we're trying to find equipment to process each fruit, because they're all not the same. Then we got, as I said, a very good filter to do the filtering, because we go through about 3 filters 3 times that we filter the wine before we bottle it. Make sure that everything that we need out of the wine is out, so it's safe. You know, it's clear and it's clean and it's stayed in the tank for as long as it needs to in order for it to be stable. We stabilize the wine and then we hope to bottle. We haven't bottled much because we don't want to bottle until we get the license. And when we do get the license, we'll be busy bottling and hopefully selling the wine.
And then you're helping them align themselves with certain retailers, or are you doing events, or how are you trying to get this market yourselves out there?
I just can't wait to get started. Yeah, that's what we're doing at this time, Sonia. We have been doing tastings. We are doing, people have been coming to the winery a lot because they're hearing about what's going on. We want to.
And when they drive by and they see the beautiful tropical
waterfalls.
look and waterfalls and everything, they're intrigued at what's going on here.
Yes.
We've had a lot of great coverage with press, and so people have been interested in seeing what's going on, so they come out, and we don't want to turn anybody away, so we want them to see what's going on, and then they want to bring friends back, and we tell them, this is just something we took you on today, and hope you enjoyed it, and we're ready to open. I have a list of over 500 people in my database right now, just from people who want to be notified when we're open, and they're still calling on a regular basis, and so I've had to put on our voicemail to let them know, and I'm changing it actually tomorrow because it said we originally thought we would be open in mid to late April, and it's, we have a little setback, so we're going to push for the next date, which is 6 to 8 weeks, which is, as I told you earlier. But, we're just excited because we know that this wine is something everybody's going to want. And in the retail industry, we have distributors that are calling us, wanting us to know if we're going to sign up with them. And we're just not ready to make any decisions at all right now. It's nothing that we can do. We're still waiting to get our finalization on all of our permits, so all of our licensing is in place. But the tastings are a lot of fun. That's where we get to introduce ourselves to people, and people want to know, what's your favorite wine, And I can honestly tell you, it depends on what I'm doing at the time, what my favorite wine is. And I don't want to steer anybody any different direction, but I love them all. I can't even say that I like them. I love them all.
Yeah.
And people come up and say, "Oh, I tasted your lychee wine. I love it. Can I please buy a bottle now?" I'm like, "I can't sell you. Can you please? I'll buy a case." "No, I'm sorry, I can't sell
It's
it
like
now."
a tease.
It's a tease.
And it's not really a tease. Please don't say that. It's just we really do want them to know that we want you to see how good our wine is, because so many people in this area, in the Redlands and all of South Florida, have tried making wines. And everybody can make wine. It's just everybody can't make good wine. And actually, at this time, we are making a really good wine, and we want people to see, don't compare us to what you've seen before, what you've had before. Please come taste our tropical wines.
Yes, I understand this is not considered a fruit wine.
That's correct.
Right, which means
that there's a flavoring added to it. A
flavor.
fruit wine has flavoring added. This is made from the fruit, the carambola, which
This
is
is
star
actual
fruit.
tropical fruit.
Yes, made from that.
And we're also are very proud, as I said before, that they're not sweet. We can always choose to finish them any way we want to. We will have from dry to sweeter wines, but not sweet. Like, people say, "Oh, that's a Manischewitz or something like that." No, these are going to be old table wines. We only have one wine because when we first started, I was the winemaker, so I did learn the process of how to make wine. And in my process of processing one lychee wine, I mixed up my formula and I doubled up an ingredient that I shouldn't have, and it came up a sweet wine that, to my surprise, I thought we were going to have to dump.
No.
Everybody loves.
Excellent.
So this is the fun of this, that when you start experimenting, and that's what I said. Yeah, and then if you blend, mistake here, oops.
And that's how great things are done.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Because it's by mistake, you don't know what you're doing, and then suddenly you taste it and it's delicious. So we're going to have them.
Now,
all
which wine
kinds.
is that?
It's a no, well, we don't have a name for it yet, but it's
made out of the
yeah,
lychee
the
wine.
lychee, yes.
Okay. We'll have to
Yes,
taste
gotta
that one.
taste.
That was the one Denise messed up and made a wonderful wine.
You can see we have 4 bottles sitting here today. We actually have 5 labels that are made. Our mango label is made. It's not quite finished yet. These are the 4 wines that are finished. That's our carambola, our guava, our lychee, and our passion fruit. Those are finished and ready for bottling. We also have a carambola that will be aged with French oak. And it's a very dry wine, and it's a very smooth wine. So people who see the carambola may think
that would be very comparable to what type of
a
wine would you
Chardonnay.
say?
I would say a
Yeah?
Chardonnay.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's between a Chardonnay and a Pinot Grigio. Because, you know,
Okay.
Chardonnay is a little strong sometimes.
Yes.
Pinot Grigio is a smoother wine.
lighter, right.
All our wines are smooth. And that's why I think we love them, because really sometimes you get tired of when they're too harsh. And these are very smooth. And the oak, to our surprise, the one that we're aging with oak, is coming up really nice and distinctive.
Yeah.
It's very distinguished. It's going to make a very distinguished wine. So we're very excited.
And do these wines, like the traditional wines, do they, as they age, I mean, are they going to, you know, gain value or I mean,
the only thing that gets good with age are red wine and women.
of course. We will not argue that here with 3 women.
White wines do not, you know, they have an expiration date. All white wines.
All white wines do,
And ours
It's
are
just the
all
red
white,
ones.
and then we really don't know how many years of life
this
they
is
have.
new.
We are
Or how many
exactly-
months,
but
because
we
we
are
have it, right?
experimenting. We have, but since when we started, we're looking into that, and we'll. In a couple of years or in 5 years, we could probably say, well, ours can expire in 5 years or in 3 or in 10. We don't know. And we are looking into see if the flavor changed and if it changed for the better. Some have. Actually, we bottle them and we put them aside, and then we taste them as we go along. And they're getting better. They're getting more.
Do you feel more of the fruit
For
taste?
the fruit and a better the better sense in your taste buds when you drink it later in life. So we're very excited about that too, because all this
That's
is
very
experimental.
important.
There's no book written how to make lychee wine. We have to play it by ear and experiment every day and be surprised with the good things that nature is throwing in our way.
And these are, I assume, great compliments to our dishes at home, our dinners. What do you find they're better with? Meats, seafood, or
They are
The guava pairs very nicely with the pasta, I can tell you
pasta?
that, with the pasta.
Okay.
And the carambola is great with fish or chicken or it's seafood. I mean, any kind of seafood, your lobster, your shrimp. We have some chefs who are doing some pairings right now. They're actually cooking with their wines. We will be at the, I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you or not, but there's a tropical ag fiesta coming
Yes.
up. And Chef Allen will be there, and Dewey Lasasa, and I believe another
we'll be
gentleman.
having some of these wines.
And we'll be there with that as well.
that would be
so.
a great opportunity for you to go out and taste some of these wonderful wines. That's going to be at the Tropical Ag Fiesta in June. And to
The 11th
find
and
more-
12th.
11th and 12th. And to find more information on Schneblin Winery, it's schnebleywinery.com. Please go out and visit them. And we thank you, Denise, for coming here and giving us all this information, all this exciting stuff. And thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
for having us.
Thank you for joining us.